Dr. Craig, this question is for you.
All right.
Why does the lack of ultimate significance entail the lack of temporary significance?
It seems to me that in order for something to be significant, to be important, it needs to make a difference. That's what it means to be significant. And so if no matter what you do, everything winds up the same, your choices are ultimately insignificant. That is to say, they're inconsequential. And on naturalism, all of our choices, the entire human race, is ultimately inconsequential. It doesn't matter. It's insignificant. And that seems to me to be virtually undeniable on atheism.
May I deny it?
Excuse me?
May I deny it?
Sure.
You know, somehow it's this temporality that seems to really matter to you. You know, that unless it is, you say, you're right, it's almost a tautology. In order for something to be significant, it has to make a difference. But why can't it just make a difference for some duration and not forever? If somebody is in pain, is suffering, and I can do something to take that suffering away, that matters. And it doesn't matter that neither I nor the sufferer will exist, you know,
Well, let's
forever.
remember that my argument is a tripartite argument, and there are three components to it: purpose, value, and significance. Now, I agree that if things have objective moral worth and value, then their being merely temporary does not mean that they're insignificant. That in that case, you can have significance despite its transitoriness in virtue of its moral worth. But my argument is that in the absence of God, there isn't any objective foundation for the affirmation of objective moral values and duties. These are simply illusions fobbed off on us by the socio-biological evolutionary process. And therefore, you can't rescue significance by appealing to the inherent moral worth of temporary things.
If it were only the biological process, the evolutionary process, how could it be that through reflection, slowly, far too slowly, we actually can make progress, right? Everything. There's nothing more biologically determined than male dominance over women. Nothing is more, right? This is.
Well, now wait, Rebecca. by what? By what?
You underestimate women.
We have our ways, but you know, but we are slowly, you know, there's all sorts of behavior that is biologically determined, right? Xenophobia. I spent a lot of time in Africa observing the chimps. It was one of the most amazing experiences for me. I mean, I came back and I could only see, I came back to a conference, actually, and there were two men on either side of me. So, this is my fate, this is my doom. They were arguing over me, and there was a little lady in between, and you know, and they were pointing their fingers and blah blah blah, and trying also to impress me a little bit. And you know, all I could see was what I had just seen in Uganda, right? These men.
You mean among the bonobos and the chimps?
Not bonobos. Oh, bonobos are entirely different. Bonobos are
Fair
female.
enough, but the point is
among
that
the chimps,
the same sort of social behavior exhibited by Homo sapiens is already present in their primate relatives, like baboons, and chimpanzees.
Yes.
And there is no reason to invest human morality with any more objective significance than that kind of behavior that evolution is programmed into other primate species because it's advantageous in the struggle for survival. It's just a herd morality.
Progressed. That is not how we progress.
That's not what?
What civilization is, what moral progress is.
Wait,
is
where do you get the word
battling-
progress
Oh, yes, I
on
get the
a
progress.
naturalistic worldview? I think on a naturalistic worldview, you would be justified in talking about moral change, but the word progress smuggles in a standard.
No. But that's because you think on a naturalist basis, on a purely naturalist basis, there is no way to justify, to ground objective morality. That's what you,
True.
I mean, right.
Could
so
I?
Since I don't buy that premise, I do think that one can
Could I
talk about
read
moral
you a
progress.
quotation, and I want you to comment on it?
Sure.
Okay,
And
here's
just
the...
to before you do that, we are running out of time, as
All
much
right.
as I hate to say it. So please do that. Please
I
do
may?
that. And then I'm going to
Okay.
ask you to
Here's the
each make a
quotation.
last statement.
The scientific outlook has taught us that some parts of our subjective experience are products of our biological makeup and have no objective counterpart in the world. The tastiness of fruit and the foulness of carrion, the scariness of heights and the prettiness of flowers are features of our common nervous system. And if our species had evolved in a different ecosystem, or if we were missing a few genes, our reactions could go the other way. Now, if the distinction between right and wrong is also a product of brain wiring, why should we believe it any more real? And if it is just a collective hallucination, how could we argue that evils like genocide and slavery are wrong for everyone rather than just distasteful to us? That's a statement by Steven Pinker.
Well,